This is Lilli Nielsen's functional scheme. It is for children who are working at level 0 to 48 months. That's not in age, that is on their skill development level. It's a fairly thick book, as you can see, and it goes into great detail. When I open it up to the contents page, and I will photograph this and add it to the Learn page, it covers, as you can see, 20 different areas. So from gross motor, fine, mouth movement, visual perception, auditory perception, haptic tactile perception, social perception, emotional, toileting skills and dressing skills, personal hygiene, eating skills, and so on. But I want to, in this practice video, to explain how this works, because it looks rather daunting when you start. So let's just go to page 9, which is the start of the gross motor. There's instructions and information here, and again I'm going to upload that as well for you. But at the start of every section that this book looks at, and as I've said already, there are lots of sections, there is a page right at the very start with the milestones. So everything is broken down into 3-month levels up until we get to 18 months, and then we go to 6 monthly intervals. So in each section you start off with the milestone page, and it's a simple yes or no answer to these things. So you go through each one, starting at the beginning. Can almost control head movements, is that a yes or no? Turns from prone to supine position, yes or no? And then go through them all. When you start hitting no, you go back until you come to the last tick where in the yes column. And so imagine you were saying, they can't stand and walk unsupported, but they can sit unsupported. So that is the 9 to 12 months level, and that is where you would start from in the last yes part. So let we go to that page, then this is where you would start. So when we get to that page, oops, there's a double. So page here on the left, there are 2 pages. When the child is prone, do they reach for and pull objects? So it's either yes, no, or don't know. Were they able to do that in the past but can no longer? Has learning begun? Can they perform it in favourable conditions? So for example, if it's something that they really want to reach for, they'll do it, but not if it's something that's less attractive, or will they perform that spontaneously? So different questions that you then ask yourself. Here's another example. Tries to sit up from lying position. Do they do that? Yes, no, don't know. Were they able to, but perhaps can no longer? Or has learning begun to do that? Can they do that in favourable conditions? Again, if they are being lured to sit with something that they want to get up for, and that would be a favourable condition, or can they do it spontaneously? So all of those things, you can then start going through them, deciding which ones that the child is not doing, and then start working on those things from there. So that would be the gross motor. So just to recap on that, you need to look at the milestones. You ask yourself these yes/no questions. You can tick that. And then when you start hitting no, you go back to the last one where you ticked yes, and then read across 9 to 12 months and start looking at that level in greater detail. And it's, as I said, it's exactly the same thing that you do for each of those areas. Here's visual perception. Can they fixate on objects placed at a distance of 20 centimetres from their eyes? At 3 to 6 months, you'd expect them to visually inspect their own hands, finds an object after watching it disappear, and so on. So again, you can tick yes or no and then go back and look at each area in depth once you've found where you're starting from. So this is the functional scheme by Lilli Nielsen.